So I promised you guys a while back that I was going to give you the goods. I was going to dig through my report cards and kind of give you a look, an overview, some insight into what were some of the things that teachers said about me that could have been a little bit indicative of there being something, you know what I'm saying. Okay, I found out I was autistic at 35. Boy, was that not on mind. And here we are. There's going to be a video somewhere if you want to watch it, the whole process, the whole thing. This was on my birthday? Request for individual assessment on my birthday. What the hell is that shit? Okay, well, you know what? That's page 32. Let's just backtrack a little bit here. Okay, so I'm going to try and do this in order, but the way that I had these in here is a little bit confusing because it's all double-sided, like printed on both sides, because I was trying not to kill a million trees and there's 60 pages worth of shit here. So Courtney likes to be in control of situations, and okay, so also I use they, them pronouns. I feel like I need to hit people over the head with this because when I refer to myself as a kid, I always use she, her. Just roll with it. Just meet me halfway, okay? And she is an easygoing person when things please her. This says so much about me. Like you're gonna be like, However, she requires help in learning to accept opinions and ideas from her peers. She also needs assistance to share and to be fair at all times. At all times, this is emphasized. She is being encouraged to make an effort to remain respectful towards others and to express her feelings appropriately. Now, you're going to see a theme. There's a theme throughout all of this shit. During story time, Courtney continues to require frequent reminders to remain quiet and to pay attention. She continues to need a lot of encouragement to do her share during cleanup time. Fine. During our quiet time, she is often disruptive. She continues to receive many reminders to stay quiet and calm. Having feelings right now. She has continued to be encouraged to accept ideas from others and to express her feelings appropriately. Courtney has difficulty accepting criticism and compliments as well. Oh, like, did I ever tell you guys that I've tried to film this more than once? We're just doing it. This sucks. This sucks. This is fun. Also, from kindergarten to grade 4, I was in French immersion, which really was super helpful. And then I was also in German school on the side. And then I was doing so poorly in like math and like science and such that I was then put in an English only, right? I mean, you had French still, but it was English. And then I was also put in, I think somewhere it gets mentioned. Somewhere along this is going to be a long video. I get put into an additional group where they would pull us out of class, like a special education, to try and help us. And it wasn't helpful, but thank you so much for your effort. Courtney needs to participate more actively during these activities. She has to become more attentive. I was really easily distracted, and there was a name for it. And that they call, this is what I was, you're in La La Land is what it was not so nicely called. And I would like zone out. I would dissociate basically. Like I was in La La Land, like I wasn't paying attention. I was viewed, you will get a vibe here, but I was viewed as like the problem. Like it was my problem. Like I was the problem, right? It wasn't the system. It wasn't what was in place. It was me. I was bad. I was a bad kid. I want to make it abundantly clear. I used to believe that. I don't believe that anymore. I'm learning to follow more than one direction at a time. I always loved this. Like you'd be like, just keep reading. Just keep reading. It's okay. Courtney will strongly benefit from from being more concentrated on tasks and also being more attentive during class activities. She tends to daydream, to talk, and disturb her classmates at the table. These affect her work. She takes too much time to complete the task required. Developing better listening skills and concentration will be one of her goals during the term. Also, I'm going to go back in time and just be like, hey, I'm a grown-ass adult. I started my own business. And granted, at the peak of my success, which was, and then some, I burnt out so profoundly because the foundation of who I am is just, page 5 of 60. I'm probably going to we're going to cruise a little bit here. So here we go. Courtney is becoming more sensitive to others' feelings. Fine, great. And needs, and is more capable of respecting them. What year was this? Was it? Courtney participates well in the activities that interest her. She must be more cooperative and attempt to perform the task at hand. Oh God. She is also learning to express her feelings in an appropriate way and to settle her own problems. Even if Courtney has made good progress this term, she still needs to be reminded to listen more carefully on carpet time. And then it's just sort of, I had a good year in this is grade 1. Okay. I have developed good French language skills, which is actually one thing that's pretty shocking. Like, I'm not fluent by any stretch of the imagination, but I can, if you speak to me in French, I've got you. And I can read French, and I can, like, bumble along and write it, not perfectly or anything. But if you plunked me down in Quebec somewhere, I would be okay. Maybe. Possibly. It could be a little sticky. It's okay. So here's a nice thing. Courtney is a nice child who learned throughout the year to get along with her peers. So here's the thing that, like, the ADHD is what stood out when I was a kid. The autism showed up in things like Courtney's a delight to have in class, and Courtney's a nice child, and Courtney's, a pleasure to teach, and Courtney's, like, where it showed up. Thank you, dog that's barking. What do you have something to contribute? Where it showed up it's been a pleasure to work with such a lovely child as Courtney. Courtney's output fluctuated. She lacked the motivation to learn, although there were signs her performance could have improved. Lack of perseverance and attention-seeking behavior hampered her from developing attending skills, as, for example, focusing on the task at hand and completing it before proceeding on to the next one. It was questionable if Courtney was capable of retaining teachers' oral directions. I felt she needed to work more on auditory discrimination of sounds, ordering of letters, and proofreading copied work. Courtney needed to learn to listen attentively, follow teachers' oral direction, memorize letter configurations embedded in the selected sounds, O as in bateau, concentrate on left-right orientation of letters and their sequence within words, So there were things I struggled with. What's funny is, like, how I remember how to spell beautiful, because, like, I struggle with some of these things still to this day, but I say it in my head, beautiful. Many repetitions were needed for mastery of keywords. Well, excuse-moi. Okay, excuse-moi. Okay, then there was nothing over here. So this was what center? French Learning Assistance Report. Oh, geez. Grade 2. Oh, send help. So this is primarily where, like, oh God, okay, it's okay. Just experience difficulty following a simple direction. Find the word from a segmented or scrambled sentence. Did not always complete correctly a demanded task. At times she altered the instructions. Required much clarification prior to the beginning of an activity. Needed to expand vocabulary in order to understand written directions. Tends to distract. Oh my God. Don't do this. I don't do this often. I think I've read through all of this like 3 times, 4 times maybe. Tends to distract herself with different gadgets that she manipulates. Courtney responds well to individualized instruction. God, imagine that. Do you know what the issue is schools aren't designed for the few. They are designed for the many. They are designed for a specific way of doing things. And when somebody doesn't meet that criteria, and here's what I fucking have to break it to you. Like, life is about finding better ways of doing things, ways that work better for you. Why Did it come down to me fundamentally as a person? As a child, I was a nuisance to everybody. I was an annoyance. I wasn't, like, it was my fault, you know? How was it my fault? You're there to teach me how to be a human with the other humans. But just because my brain humans differently, like, now I'm just a write-off. Just check that box and move them along. Okay. This is more of the same with the learning instructions and the not being able to. And here. Courtney learns better when she sees the direct link with real-life situations. Courtney is a playful child who must use her time more wisely in order to complete her work. She seems to be a perfectionist and often erases her work, making it difficult to finish the required task. She is working on developing better listening skills and work habits in order to be more focused on the task. In math, Courtney is not comfortable working independently with mathematics materials and ideas that one would expect for her age. Repeats the same type of sentences in writing. Yeah, it's so much of it's the same throughout the years. So this is still grade 2. We haven't passed grade 2 yet. This is all still grade 2. I double starred this one. This was the theme. This was the theme. This was like all of my teachers had it in for me for this one thing. Courtney is not a very good participant of our oral activities since she is, for most of the time, in her own world. Courtney needs to listen with more attention to directives given verbally. When working individually, Courtney needs to be brought back on task regularly. She is easily distracted. While working cooperatively, she has a tendency of disrupting her teammates by chatting with them or simply by being in her own world and not cooperating appropriately. I don't know how many of you who are watching this, like if you're younger than me, even if you're older than me, I want to tell you that like there was a time growing up where like I thought that I was just a failure. Like I was a bad kid. I believed it. And I dreaded report cards. I dreaded them with like a fear and just a disappointment. And I'm going to tell you that everything I share here is just from my own experience. I'm sharing with you this, not to sound full of myself, but in the hopes that you will glean something from it. Compare it to your world, okay? I am a capable individual. This is what I make. This is what I do. This is what my brain allows me to do. This earned me 500 million views, over 500 million views on one platform. Thank you very much. That is from this. I made this. I taught myself how to do this. I had help from a few people along the way, but this is me. This is me. This is what my weird, fucking absent-minded little brain off in her own little world. This is the fucking shit that I do. I've made over 200 of these. I've got tails all over the planet, okay? I'm a little annoyed, right? Like I hadn't intended to, but I wanted to film something and this was on the docket and I feel like, I don't know how many of my elementary school teachers are still alive, if they'd even recognize me, my little face. You know, I didn't have glasses growing up and I had long, like lighter blonde-ish hair and I was always tall and very skinny and I sometimes it isn't for anybody. Like none of like my life and how I turned out doesn't impact them. It impacts me. But I did amazing things. Like I got into multiple art schools. I made it almost 10 years in the animation industry. I make mermaid tails now and that's my business and that's what I'm going to do. That's the story for another day. I had to take you on that segue because you have to know, I read this back and it snaps me right back in time. I feel little again. I feel small. I still feel like a failure. even though I have ample evidence to the contrary, okay? Courtney sometimes demonstrates a willingness and enthusiasm to participate in some sensory experiences. Courtney is still thinking, learning, and communicating through the arts. What did I just say? If Courtney is given the choice on how to express something, she will often choose to do so through visual arts. And I always wondered what that was about. I have aphantasia, so I don't see, like, you tell me to picture an apple. Conceptually, I can comprehend, okay? I know what an apple is. Like, I can, so you see, I can't like attach myself to what's in my head without a sketchbook, which is why I doodle all the time and why I've got sketchbooks coming out of my ears. Stay on track. Courtney is not very good at staying on track. Courtney has a very good sense of observation. Now, hopefully, if you've been paying attention, you will start to notice that Courtney's a delight to be around. Courtney has a good sense of observation. Courtney is a perfectionist. The things that showed up for me as autism were not detectable. It's the ADHD in me was strong when I was a kid, like really strong when I was a kid, and pretty damn obvious. But the stuff that would have led to an autism diagnosis just wasn't there because I started figuring it out pretty quick. Okay, I gotta talk faster. It's been 22 minutes and I've got still 50 odd pages to go through here. Okay. For next year, Courtney should concentrate on learning to respect deadlines, to improve her organization, and to develop better work habits. Courtney should continue to work on her social relation, although she has already made good progress. Okay, well, thank you. Courtney does make a good effort. Well, you know what? Damn it, Courtney. Good for you. What a surprise. I think we're in grade 3 now. Okay, here we go. We recommend that Courtney keep receiving some additional help from the LAC teacher. Courtney to provide strategies to help, or continue to provide strategies to help Courtney express herself more confidently. Remind her to keep her desk only the materials required for the task at hand to enhance her concentration. Oh my effing goodness. Courtney's reading pace is very slow and her comprehension is satisfactory. I'm going to tell you, I can read, like I could blow through this right quick. You can hear me reading to you now, okay? If I have to comprehend and read something new that I haven't read before, I read it very slowly. Something that helps me now is PDFs can be read to you on the computer. Discord will read to me. If ever I have to read something that is a large amount of text, I will either copy and paste it or read it off, use my phone's reader. My phone can read text to me. So that was an accommodation I needed. That wasn't really something that was a thing when I was a kid, the way that it is now. Oh God, I wrote it wasn't in the thing here. Summer camp would be beneficial to Courtney to give her the opportunity to cooperate and enjoy herself with other children. It wasn't. Yeah, it wasn't. Any of the summer camps that I went to, the kids clocked me so fast. I was in summer school like every year for my whole high school or elementary, high school, the whole nine. And the kids would clock me so fast. I was always alone. What year is this now? What nightmare year is this? Oh, this is grade 5? Oh, did I miss? Was that grade 4? Did I miss grade 4 somewhere? Has this stuff gotten... That was grade 3. Where's grade 4? I must have missed grade 4 somewhere. Okay, well, anyways. This was an individual education plan. Okay, so Courtney has been receiving learning assistance this term. Enclosed is a draft of the individual education plan followed. So they started doing this for me. I thought it was in grade 4, but it may have been grade 5 and 6. I really thought it was grade 4, 5, and 6, but it may just have been grades 5 and 6. And it was oh my God, I remember you now. Works better on a one-on-one basis, enjoys art activities, of course, and shows good artistic expression. Learning weaknesses, difficulty with reading comprehension in both English and French components, problems with written work, spelling, punctuation, capitalization, lacks organizational skills. You want to talk about punctuation and capitalization? I've got some issues. difficulty focusing, staying on task, avoids work that requires a lot of effort. Screw you. This is where the laziness lie came into play. This is where this came in, and this followed me for like the rest of my life. Needs reminders to stay on task and complete work. Okay, well, congratulations. That was a very happy birthday to me. That was on my birthday. I love that so much. Oh my God. Okay, so this was weird. This was a letter that my mother actually wrote. I'm not going to read it. But this was fantastic. This was on my birthday that this happened. My mom had to have a meeting. Oh my God. So this would have been at the point that I would have received some kind of an assessment. And I don't know, unfortunately, I can't get the details on what kind of assessment it was. If it was, I don't think it would have been for autism at the time. That wasn't really a thing. It probably would have been for ADHD. And I don't know, really, there's nothing else here that gives me any indication of how that turned out. But my autistic tendencies do like overshadow my ADHD tendencies. So when I answered the questions and you do all the testing and you're like, well, that's not really something I struggle with, because my autistic brain takes things so literally, it should have been, I don't struggle with this, but it's because I have a detailed system that allows me not to struggle with this. So I do struggle with this, and I do struggle with the same kinds of things, like the ADHD palette. I get it, I got it, but I have workarounds. So this, I think, was actually before, oh no, this is still grade 7. Courtney was referred to the Skills Development Center in order to improve her reading and writing skills. This was the, okay, so grade 4 somehow got, this was the back of grade 4. Somehow this got shuffled around somehow. I don't really know how that happened, but okay, so French language arts is very hesitant to volunteer answers and reluctant to take an active part in our discussions. So you'll also notice, like, so grade 4 was kind of my, I like to think of it as my like mask awakening. I was really starting to realize that there was a way of being that was better than my way of being in terms of the responses that I would get from people. And I definitely started cranking it up at this point. Oh my God. This is like just deep, you know? Like, just so that everybody's on the same page, I was a C student. C minus, C minus, C, C, C minus, B, B, and then art is the only thing I really ever get A's in. I think in high school I made the honor roll once. And I'm not even really sure why. But my grades were always ass. Yeah, and I've continued to receive the help. That's fantastic. There's been a lot of incomplete work this term. She is fairly well motivated, but has difficulties working independently on it for extended periods of time. Courtney needs to put a little more effort into all her schoolwork. She needs support in organizing her materials and agenda and needs to take more responsibility upon herself for unfinished work. Courtney has a positive self-concept and works cooperatively with all her peers. Well, that's a first. Oh, and here I didn't get it. Oh, I got a B in art. Excuse me. I don't think that particular teacher liked me very much. That was grade 5. Yep. Courtney tries to take a mature approach to her schoolwork, but she still has difficulties in getting started on a task and seeing it through to completion. She needs to try to apply more focus to her schoolwork. Can I just tell you what, like, the most frustrating thing in the world is when your brain works, and that's one of the most frustrating things in the world, when your brain works differently, and I'm just thinking of Math 12 for some instance, which I don't even know how I survived, whatever. And I remember sitting in the classroom and I remember being like, okay, I understand this. Okay, the next concept, I understand this. Wait a second. What did that mean? Oh shit. And now, the teacher's like 15 points ahead. I'm still stuck on the last fucking thing she said. I had to go in every day for an hour after school for help just to pass the damn course. You can't just be like, hey, excuse me, can you go back? You've got all the fucking kids behind you who already think you're a fucking weirdo. Say nothing, keep your head down, make no noise, because by the way, if you sigh in class too loud, the teacher's gonna point you out to everybody and say, Courtney, I know this is hard work. Meanwhile, sighing is a stim that you do. You don't even realize you're doing it. You are horribly embarrassed and now sweating fucking bullets for the rest of class, not hearing a word that you're saying. She has improved the setup of her work, but needs to watch for neatness and uniformity and size. What was this for? Oh, legible handwriting style. My handwriting is absolute ass. And this was part of this. They don't mention this anywhere in here, but they would take my hand with one of those stupid plastic and they would hold and squeeze my hand to feel that I was holding the pencil incorrectly. I'm going to show you how I hold a pencil. Where's the fucking pencil? Is this going to be the thing that breaks the internet? So I hold the pencil in a couple of different ways, right? So this is one way that I hold my pencil. Hang on. Sometimes I hold it like this, which I believe is the correct way, excuse me. But I'm usually like this or hang on, like this. Okay? And the world just doesn't seem to like that. But I will once again present you with Exhibit A. Because I hand paint this shit. This isn't AI. This is fucking real. This is brush strokes laid on by my stupid, weird hand. Moving on. It has been difficult for Courtney to focus on tasks that have needed to be done in the classroom this term. Continued absences. Absences? I had a question there, like what absences? I didn't skip class. I was not a class skipper. I think like maybe all total, I may have skipped like a class and it wasn't even exciting because I'm pretty sure my mom knew about it. So like it wasn't even, you know? Like, what absences? Was I sick a lot? Like, I have no idea. This is 6 now. Uses her agenda daily to record all of her assignments and ask for help if an assignment does not seem clear to her. Now, here's the thing about grade 6. Grade 6 was the year that I used to eat lunch under my desk. Not every day, but a lot of the time. I sat at the very back of the classroom. There were like these wardrobes behind me and the desks were like standing desks. I would tie my jacket or a sweatshirt around the legs of the desk and I would tuck myself under and I would sit there. Like sometimes the teacher would be in the room, sometimes she wouldn't. Sometimes she'd lock me in there and I have no idea. I don't know, maybe she knew, maybe she didn't. But I used to do that because I couldn't bear to deal with people and I wanted quiet. They wanted me to show more energetic participation in gym class. I always had really painful knees. I had really painful feet. I was very sensitive to certain things like volleyball, which is what they're referencing here. The bump, that actually really fucking hurt my arms. Like a lot. I really didn't like it, and they didn't like that for an excuse. It was painful and I didn't want to do it, so thank God. It's not like I became a professional volleyball player, guys. I would like Courtney to take the responsibility to ask for help. Do you know what happens when you ask for help? It's like a spotlight. It's like a beacon. And then if you fail to help me the way that you think I need to be helped, then it's my fault. So here we go. So this was grade 7. And grade 7 was interesting. I liked the teacher, but I don't love the things that she said about me. And I kind of like, knowing what I know now, I sometimes fantasize that I could just show up at that portable and just knock on the door and get let in and be like, hey, I'm here to discuss Courtney with you. Would you mind just taking a seat, please? Thanks. Let's go over your goals and support plan for Courtney. Let's do that, shall we? To complete assignments on time. So that's a little bit vague, if I may be so bold as to say. What does this, I understand, complete them on time. How are we getting to that point? Give me the breakdown. What are we going to do? How is Courtney going to break this down across however much time Courtney's going to have? And if this seems easy to you, I'm going to expect you just to zip a lip, because there are people who watch my content and it's not easy for them, the same way that it's not easy for me. And I have workarounds and I have systems that allow me to keep track of things now. But don't think for a minute that any of these people helped me figure it out. I had to figure it out for me, by myself. Thank you. To listen attentively and follow through on given instruction without any reminders. How is this a goal and support plan? A goal and support plan. Work is satisfactory when she focuses on the task and listens carefully to directions. My goal for the third term will be to provide opportunities for Courtney to continue developing a positive attitude towards school. What were your opportunities? What were they? Write them the fuck down. I give you a C- for this nonsense. Oh, you know what? You were a lovely lady. You were beautiful. Your cat was adorable. You were funny. I enjoyed. Your classroom was lovely and set up so well. This is hooey. I look at this and I want to scream. I want to scream because this was the theme for everything, and it just keeps going. Like, it just keeps going. Here was another one: to complete the assignments on time. That's my goal. And you and I both understand what that means, but for a brain like mine, the way that it was when I was a kid, this isn't helpful. This is absolutely unhelpful. To concentrate on paying attention doesn't even make sense. So am I paying attention or am I concentrating on paying attention? I don't think you can do both. And by the way, if I look like I'm paying attention to you, it's because I am trying to look like I'm paying attention to you, not because I'm actually paying attention. Usually, if you want to know that I'm really paying attention to you, generally I will be fidgeting with something and I will be looking over here. If you want to know that I am really hell-bent and focused 100% on whatever it is you're saying, that's how you'll know. Because if I am making direct eye contact with you and it looks like nothing else is going on, I'm not physically moving, and I am completely like, yeah, right, yes, okay, right. I am timing all of this in accordance with everything I know about what will indicate to you that I am focused. Makes me crazy. Okay, this is clarinet. Notes, C. Rhythms, A. Well, I had good playing posture. So at some point I had good posture, I guess. Courtney's received learning assistance. So I was obviously until grade 7. I didn't realize it had gone on for, okay. My grades here are abysmal. Abysmal. Let's not even talk about it. More goals and support plan. Go beyond classroom expectations and assignments. Continue to revise and edit my own work. So fitting. That's so fitting. I gotta tell you, like, I made it through school, like, just barely. Just barely. And it's frustrating. I feel like a lot of people in my family haven't been given the benefit of the doubt, or were just too intelligent for their own good. And there was just an expectation that if you aren't doing well in school, it is laziness. It's not because you're having a struggle. And I feel like it would have been helpful to me to have had someone, like, to just say, there's more than one way to do something. Like, for example, I'm not the only mermaid tail maker, right? Okay, let's look at this. Let's look at this thing for a second here. So I'm not the only mermaid tail maker in the world. I am one of the OGs, I guess, kind of, sort of, back in the day, all right? But there are other people who make mermaid tails like this. I make my tails in Photoshop. I use a Wacom Cintiq behind me, and I design and I print these and I sew them. And there are other people who do them. And the other people that do them don't use Photoshop. They use a different program. They use a different printer. They use different fabric. There's more than one way to do things. Many things. There are some instances where 2 and 2 does in fact equal 4, and we have to just accept that for what it is. I think about how I started a business from nothing, from the ground up. I didn't have help. I applied for my business license. I got a website. I figured out my suppliers, my manufacturers. I linked everything to my shop. I make the images. I make the products. I design everything. I test everything. I learned affiliate marketing as well. I applied for a few different things. I had companies reach out to me, like brands reach out to me. I learned how to do YouTube, how to edit videos by myself. I read these back and it just feels like I'm being picked on. There was a lot of good stuff in here too. Obviously, I took the time to read you what I felt stood out to me. It was all the stuff that I'd highlighted for my assessment, the stuff that I really wanted to just touch on. There were a lot of good things in there too. What's hard is the stuff that got missed and the stuff from a child's experience that you don't see reflected in the report cards were the experiences I had with my peers. The negative experiences, like, well, we can't play with you, Courtney, because we're playing with somebody else, or why are you so weird? Why do you always act so strange? The number of times that I would eat by myself and play by myself and cry by myself, or get called names or get teased or whatever. The number of times that these things would happen that there's no real record of except in here. And it's really hard because people will be like, well, you know, this one person, ignorant person, left a comment on my video. Like, I think it's, and I feel like I know who this person was and they denied it, but I still feel like it was them. It was too on the nose. How could you get assessed as an adult when there's nobody who knew you? Like, they didn't talk to anybody who knew you when you were a child. And it's like, one, you would say something like that and be under the assumption that I was shopping for an autism assessment and a diagnosis because I had nothing better to do with my life, as if I'm not enough of a fucking weirdo already. Let's just, add the autism. Like, that's gonna, I'm gonna get treated so much better in my life for that, because I don't. There's a lot of good that's come out of this, but there's also a lot of hurt and a lot of bad that's come out of this, let's be honest. And it's also like, do you think that anybody who knew me then, would have known me better than I knew me? And that knowing what I know about what I went through? I just think it's so ridiculous to think that, I went after this because I needed an answer. I needed an answer as to why I just needed somebody to see, hey, actually, we just needed to do things a little bit different for you. Actually, it's okay if you want to fidget, and actually, it's okay. If you need to get up and move around, if this is hard, we can come at this from another way. All that said, I don't know what you're going to be able to take from this, if anything. And it's weird because I do and I don't have hurt feelings and blame and anger and upset. But I know I am from a different generation, and I know that everybody at the time was doing the best that they could with what they had. And it doesn't really make me feel less angry and less frustrated, but I am very grateful that I know now. If you feel like you want to, get into my comment section and share some of what teachers have said about you throughout the years, only if you feel safe to do so, please. But I think it might be kind of an interesting thing for us to do and just a thing to bond over a little bit, you know? I appreciate you. Shout out to the kid who moved down the way with the basketball, much appreciated. And thank you for being here, and I look forward to catching you all again in my next video. I'm just gonna go cry into a pillow now, so I will catch you later.